Hello and welcome back to the third episode of our podcast, but actually it's the second part of the podcast that we recorded, which was split into two. So on with the podcast now.
I have to ask, when was your first Formula One? When did you find the interest for that one? Do you remember?
Well, I remember.
Grown up or a child?
Yeah. My dad had a friend who he used to work with, and he used to pass me. Do you know Motor? Motor? Motor. It's a green one, and it's maybe just a British publication. But Tony used to get all these copies of Motor, and then he would just pass it to my dad for me. So on my wall at home in my bedroom, I used to have all the center posters, which was like the JPS, John Player Special, McLaren's, all these posters of like F1 cars, on, basically from the center spreads of the magazine. So I must have been, at primary school, so like maybe 7, 8 sort of age. When Schumacher came along, so I followed it all the way. When Schumacher came along, I started to lose interest, especially once he got in a red Ferrari. I left it for about 5 years.
I think a lot of people did.
Yeah, I went off to MotoGP and British Superbikes at that time, and then World Superbikes as well. Anything bikes, and then came back to it probably after Schumacher had left. Really, yeah. So
I have to go a little bit off topic, but when you said posters on your wall, which ladies did you have up on the wall? Did you have some girls up there, or only Formula One cars?
I was a young boy. It was only Formula One. I mean, to be fair, to this day, it would probably still only be Formula One cars.
I have to be honest. I had 2 posters of cars on my wall. The first one I had was the 911 Turbo, the white one. The Widowmaker, and the second one was a white Lamborghini Countach, and then there was the poster of Samantha Fox and Sabrina.
Yeah, Cindy Crawford, but that was a little bit later. Yeah.
You're so nice. Yeah. I was more out there. Yeah. I'm sorry to say.
I'm boring basically.
Yeah. No, I still have some posters on the wall here and there in the house and all this, and I have behind me is a picture of me, of course, but I also have a picture of from Iceland, which you made with your company, and then I have a few other bits and bobs. I have actually a nice picture of a BIC mono from one of the Atlantic road trips back in the day. I think it was in 2017. I think it was. We drove Copenhagen to somewhere, and that picture, I'm not sure. It was some of the English photographers who took it over the bridge with a BIC mono.
Oh right, yeah.
I think it was absolutely stunning, and it looks so much speed in that picture.
Yeah.
So that's a good one I have, and you have all these great pictures from all the rallies we have done over the time, and all these good memories that brings you back. And I like to be reminded of that. The cars we have driven, the cars I have driven, the cars that people have driven. Yeah, you had the last one. You had the M4. Then you had before was the Twisted.
Twisted, yeah.
That's a UK produced Land Rover that is redone or something, isn't it? So
yeah. It's more like luxurious. It's not Rolls Royce luxurious. It's basically taking the Defender, which is essentially like a working vehicle, and turning it into a Range Rover, essentially.
Yeah. Well, we have had some beautiful cars over the years on the rally, and that's for sure. And Twisted we had it a couple of times, I think, and now we have a client returning also with Atlantic with a Twisted V8 this year.
Wow.
White one. I think it was used back in Gumball in 13, I think. And wasn't it you who did the
wrap on that? Yeah.
The wrap on that one.
For Tony Hawk. Who's obviously one of my heroes as well. So,
I'm sorry for the dog here. We have outside my home. It's the garbage truck is coming. It's Friday, so my dog is kind of hearing
Friday garbage here as well, actually in the UK.
There you see.
Yeah.
No, over the years there've been some good cars on the rallies, and a lot of them end up like posters on the wall, and also momentum and all this. And I'm not sure when we speak about favorite cars. Also, I want to say that there's been a lot of these favorite dream car garage cars that has been on the rally. Also, I have to say that Mika's GT40 has a high star in my books. The BRC Mono for sure. That's actually a car I could have wanted in my dream garage, to be honest, for track days and kind of like all this.
Yeah.
So there is, how can I say, also this this Lambo to the Swedish guy we had, the Diablo, the black Lambo Diablo was I like that one, the door and all this.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of nice ones that are out there. We forgot the Lambos for the garage.
Yeah. Well, again, it's like the Huracan probably would be like the modern version of the smaller ones.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, I wouldn't say no to one, but I'm not out there chasing Lamborghinis. Jim, who I know within one of the WhatsApp groups here in England, he's got a Murcielago. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing. It sounds amazing, but just they don't bring the same desire, weirdly, as a Porsche does for me. So
strange. So. No, it's funny also to see how, when you are a child, I guess the one of the first words when you learn about cars is Ferrari, or you see them because they are red and all this. But yeah, it's a funny business to be in. It's close to my heart. It's when you do something as a livelihood that is kind of something that gives you enjoyment and fulfills you with all this interest that you have, and it brings in kind of, you can work with this one. And for me, I don't have to own all the cars. It's just fun to be close to them when we are doing road trips and road rallies and all this. And you get to drive a lot of these different cars also when you're with the lads and you try them and you do all this. And sometimes that's also enough to just tingle your feeling for that. And I guess, what is your ultimate, if I can ask, what is your ultimate road trip car? What is your idea of that? What is?
Well, I don't know really, because the Twisted was really good.
Should have been faster.
I think that like ideally what I'm trying to push for at the moment is DBX, Aston Martin DBX, to do the road rally. Now, at the moment, that I think that could possibly be the ultimate, because you've got the space. It's essentially just a big GT car. You know, but I'm not sure.
For me, I have to say the ultimate road rally car would be the 911 Turbo S, a new one, and
maybe.
Preferably, I would actually go on convertible also.
Really?
The weather is nice.
Yeah.
It's something with those kind of wind, the smells, I have had some convertibles over the time from when I was younger and all this, and it's a little bit show off, I know, and this, but I think the 911 Turbo is a brilliant car. It's fast, it's reliable, it's good fuel economics, so you don't have to go to the pump all the time and fill when you're driving.
Yeah,
and it's absolutely a stunning car, and it's fun to drive, and it goes really, it's really fast.
Yeah,
and it's nimble. So I think for me that's the perfect road rally car, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say something slightly controversial here. In England, Britain, no one really drives convertibles, right? The only people, because obviously it rains a lot, so the only people that have convertibles in the UK, and this is what I mean, it's quite controversial, in my opinion, is the hairdressers. Right? So all of my life, I've only thought anyone who drives a convertible is a hairdresser, right? Or a woman. right?
But that's the smaller ones, the Ford Focus convertible or
Pretty
the Golf
much.
convertible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, we call them air stewardess cars.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same mindset.
But it's not when you come to a faster, bigger.
No, it's exactly the same.
Is it?
Yeah. Apart from, are you ready? There is one thing that one car that bucks that trend that you have to be a real man to drive, right?
And that is
a TVR. There's a lot of soft top or open top Targa type tops in TVR.
Yeah.
That no sensible person would drive a TVR. So you have to be a little bit, a little bit nuts. Yeah. And it's like wrestling a Rhino. They're just big engines, hugely powerful in a plastic shell, So you have to be a bit nuts to drive one of those. There's no crash well, I'm sure there is TVR, just in case you're suing me. So to me, the only car any normal man can drive is a TVR if he wants the top off.
That was hard, Rick. I couldn't see that one coming, but yeah, we've seen the same trend in Norway, and it's been like, but that's the smaller kind of convertibles, the small cars and all this, the Mini Cooper, the Mini with, we call them that one. But I don't know. I will take that into consideration. I will say it to my clients who have supercars which are convertible and say, don't come with that because people can take you as a hairdresser or something.
Well, I know that's the thing is it also, I just look at it from this is again back to the engineering, to the boring side. You cut the top off it, you lose rigidity. So you essentially then have to, make it more rigid. So you give it more weight. And obviously you've got the hard top coming, the hard top ones are a bit better. But so as in, like on the boring side of engineering, I think, well, you're compromising the car. So why would you want to cut the top off a 911?
Yeah, that's true. But then again, in the modern era, like now, we had a couple of 911s on the last tour, actually. We had one Turbo S and then one 4S. And we had two 4Ss, actually. And I have to say, all those cars were stellar cars, and they were absolutely beautiful. I don't want to throw them under the bus because I know none of them are hairdressers.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good. It's a good thing. I hope they will actually. I will send this to them when we air it, so they can have our feelings about convertible.
Yeah.
And I'm just selling in one of these guys. I'm selling in on the next rally. We're actually talking about he will join again, and then he wants to bring in a Bentley convertible. Then I'm not sure what were your feelings about that. Is it still a hairdresser's car, or you say nothing? We just leave that issue or this point with that. No comment.
It's not a TVR, so
okay. Yeah, no, I feel you there. So I think there is opinions on everything. So
sure.
No, that will, for me, for sure. At least until 5 minutes ago, that was the ultimate rally car. Maybe I'll go with a coupe now with.
Sorry, AJ.
Yeah, with the big wing behind. Yeah, true. No, it's a long summer ahead of us, and I really look forward to that one. And I really look forward to seeing what type of cars the people are bringing in for the rally. It's two different ones we have left: the Atlantic one, which go in Scandinavia, and then the Run to the Sun, which go in Southern Europe. So I'm also eager to see, will there be a different type of cars they bring into Scandinavia than they bring in on the Run to the Sun? Will it be more SUVs? Because a lot of people have this idea that Atlantic we need a SUV because we're going to North Norway.
Yeah.
The roads are just as good as in the south of Norway and in the south of Europe.
Yeah.
They are spectacular for a sports car, actually. So there is a lot of different kind of thoughts about this. And when we broker down this rental car agreement also with the companies for the overseas client, it was, hey, you need SUVs for going to North Norway. I said, we are not going on dirt roads. There are tarmac all the way to North Cape, and the roads are actually pretty good. So don't worry about that. But of course, smaller, more nimble cars is always good because it's a lot of twists and bends and all this. So It will be fun to see the difference between those cars. What will they bring on that rally? What will they bring on that one?
Yeah. It just reminded me of that day that I mentioned in the last podcast when we were in Lake Como, because the McLaren was in front of us, and every time we went up the hill, they had to do like a 3-point turn to get up the hill because they couldn't get it turned around. So
yeah, that was the case. He couldn't turn around when you were heading.
Yeah,
we lost you guys there in Lake Como. You left us, or you fall behind, or what happened?
Yeah, no, I was driving, and we got to some roadworks, and then we all. It was real confusion. I can't remember why, but we thought it was this way. Then we thought it was that way. Then we turned around, and in the end, I just got really frustrated, which sometimes I do. And then I just turned around and drove off towards Italy. Let's go that way. And you guys went via the other route. Yeah. Basically, we went around a mountain. And we went that way. We got over the tops, and I can't remember the name of the pass that we went down, but it was quite a famous one. And yeah, it was on the top. It was all snow, and then when we went down a little bit further, it was just beautiful sunshine in the valley. But as we were coming down the valley, there was like it was a road that obviously must get snow on because it had a little overcover, and then but it's like beautiful bright sunshine. You come around this corner, and it was so wide. I genuinely think if Nathan was driving, we would have been sideways all the way around it. But obviously, you know, I'm controlled speed, not stupid speed. So I go around the corner, and at the bottom of the hill is a police van waiting for all of us. Yeah. So it was waiting for the whole group. Of course, pulls us over, and they're like, "Where's everybody else?" Oh well, we got lost. We've left them all. Yeah. So then they packed up and went. They wanted to look at our driving license and everything, but they weren't bothered. I mean, we weren't doing anything bad anyway. So, But yeah, if Nathan would have been driving, we would have been.
I remember coming into, we always have these group chats going on when we are on the rallies. And I remember us coming into Milan quite early, I have to say. And all these pictures are coming into the group chat of some fuckers are having wine, lunch. It looks like a day party. I guess it was just the co-driver that was having wine, but
it turns out
it's seldom I feel the FOMO, and I felt the real FOMO there. Yeah, because I was sitting in the reception looking at all these pictures coming in on the phone that people were having the time of their life.
Well, yeah.
What happened there? What?
Well, we went to Lake Lugano, so there was a stop there, but it wasn't actually open. So we by this point we'd met with Lucas and KD. So then they were like, "Well, let's just go to Lake Como." So we went to Lake Como, and then we went up the hill, which is when they were going up the hill, they had to do the 3-point turn to get up it because it was so like zigzaggy and steep. And we got to the top of the hill, and then we went to this restaurant, which obviously Lucas had booked. And it turned out it was like George Clooney's favorite. I don't know if I mentioned that in the last podcast. I seem to mention it all the time because it's like the only thing that I remember about it. And then so we dropped the cars off, and then they took us up in a van, and then we had our lunch. They all sat the German speaking sat at the German speaking table, and the English speaking sat at the English speaking table. But it was very, very good, and it had this beautiful balcony open, just looking out over Lake Como. And ever since that day, I want to go back. And then
weather was good, everything was perfect.
Yeah, there was a little bit of wine drunk, so we did have to swap drivers around. So the most non-drunk person was driving.
I think I remember was there somebody else driving the McLaren for the boys? I'm not sure.
Well, we were sent up to get the McLaren for the boys, but James couldn't start it, so he didn't know how to start the McLaren. So then I had to drive the McLaren down, and then so then Nathan was driving the Iner's GTR. So
it's all those small stories that's left in your head, and for us who were not joining you. I sometimes, not always, I sometimes go back to those pictures because there is some funny pictures from that restaurant. It looks like it was a lot of wine for
Oh
somebody.
yes, yes, it
Yeah,
was. Yeah,
so there were a
the
lot of
doctor.
different pictures with pants down, and I will not go into details,
No, no,
but
not quite. No, let's just say it's a PG version. It was
yeah,
pants lowered, not down.
yeah.
So,
But the funny thing was, all this happened also in the middle of COVID, so it felt normal.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was normality, and that was pretty cool.
yeah.
So no, I guess a lot of these memories, or some of them, are stick more to your mind and more to your head. And that day was actually special for everybody. I'm not just sad that we pushed through, that we didn't know about your detour because you didn't want us there or something. I don't say anything more than that. But we missed out for sure.
Yeah. Well, I've got one other little bit which I'll tell. I don't know if I've already mentioned this, so I'll cut this here. If I have, it won't be in it. But if I didn't, this next bit will be in it.
Yeah.
So we basically, like we're English guys. We have no idea how much George Clooney's favorite restaurant is going to cost. So we're thinking it's going to be like 700 quid a plate or something. So we're like, oh my goodness me, yeah, we'll come along. Yeah, we'll just order bread or something, But we get there and it is really, really quite reasonable price. So we just ate normally. But then on the way back down, because I'd driven the McLaren, and I got into the M4 and then drove down when I had Lucas in, and KD went with the doc, and I with Nathan. So lost Nathan, just gone completely. So we were driving, and we all got split up essentially. So we go through the toll roads, on the way down into Milan now, and like Lucas is going, just go, I'll pay, just go fast. So we were traveling quite quickly, and then we get a phone call from KD. He says, who's got the key? So they'd stopped at the petrol station and gone to fill up, and before he'd stopped the vehicle, KD had realized he didn't have the key because I had it still in my pocket.
Jesus Christ.
And we were a good 20 minutes down the road.
So
maybe 15 minutes
we are speaking about. Yeah.
So we had to basically do a U-turn, go through 2 more toll roads to come back around, then to come and catch them up. So yeah, it was a very good day because of all these little things.
Day, it was, and it was it started so good. We went from snow up in Andermatt over the mountain, and then we come down, and like you say, the sun was hitting us so hard.
Yeah.
And it was such a dramatic change of climate and also scenery.
Yeah.
I never seen it in my life. And that was special for me also. It was a day to remember, even though we didn't go for that lunch one more time.
Yeah.
I think we did lunch in Lake Como by a road stand kiosk or something like that with a hot dog, watching each other, and then say, hey, okay, we go to Milan. So no, it's those stories, I guess, that sticks with you, and we had a few of those, and those are kind of the things also we try to say to the guys. If you wander off, have fun, live for the moment, and collect memories, and that's always it's always fun.
My own rally.
Yeah, we have some of those also who do their own rally. They start 4 hours later than everybody else and just go.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I don't understand fully that one, but I guess they have been hard on the bottle all night. So it's good to have some hours then for sleeping. So yeah. No, overall, I actually miss and look forward to rally season again, and more than ever, if I'm honest. And it's like I look forward bringing people home back to North Norway for Atlantic, because it's back home to my hometown and my home turf, where I grew up and started wearing. I remember when I was a child, I only had what you call shorts on one day every summer because it was so cold. I guess climate change has come a little bit. Now I can actually wear shorts 3 times a day, but not 3 times every year. But no, I look forward to bringing people from Atlantic with the Atlantic road trip from Stockholm all the way to the North Norway, because it's close to my heart. It's close to where I'm from. My roots are there. My family is up there, and I think, not being what you call bias or something, it's the most scenic part of the world where you kind of don't want to go alone. You can go alone, but it's more fun with people. And imagine driving from Stockholm, crossing over to Norway, then do kind of the whole coastal line from Trondheim and north to North Cape. It's pretty special. You have Lofoten, Senja, Tromsø, Alta with the Alta Canyon, which is the biggest river canyon in North Europe, then up to North Cape under the midnight sun in the middle of the night where it's 24 hours daylight, and end it with a bang of a closing party there. So I'm lost for words actually by explaining this, because to bring people back to my hometown and all this would be nice, and also for them to see all this beauty that this region of Norway has to offer and this region of the world has to offer. Sadly, we don't have these wine restaurants and all this.
Well, you never know. That might happen.
You never know. Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe next time, or in 1 year from now, we have a podcast and we are talking about that restaurant we went in for Atlantic this summer. So no, it's a good year that we have in front of us. It's a good rally season. I'm proud of both the rallies we have, and I really look forward to pushing them and to push with the group and have fun and meet all the people again, meet all the new faces, get to know more people, and share the passion and love for cars.
I think it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it myself. So
it will be for sure. So
it's funny because I think obviously we spoke before about the thing that brought us together essentially was gumball. The gumball's been a thing obviously for a while, and we all like it. We'd all love to have done it. Possibly not now, but it's let's not go. Maybe not go there.
One more gumball in me. I feel that one more.
But I think the whole thing of just having fun in cars is, I've done that since I could drive, and I started off in a 1 liter Metro, Austin Metro.
Yeah.
I started off in something, that was my first car, which was a work car actually. Work bought it for me, so I had to drive it. It wasn't choice, but it's you're having fun in cars is just a great experience. Some people don't know what that is because they don't need a car, so they live in a city and they've never learned to drive, so they won't understand what the freedom is that you get.
Did you inherit an interest for cars or anything from your parents, or? Same for me actually.
My dad's friend Tony that I mentioned previously, him and my dad basically started to build a kit car. Do you know what that is? So they took,
not allowed in Norway, but we know what they are.
So my dad, now I look back and I think, well, how could you do this? But obviously in the day they were normal cars. So he took 2 Escorts, Ford Escorts, Mark 1s, right? And he cut them up with a still saw in my front garden at home, right? So I've got the photographs, of the pieces of the cars to use for this kit car. They never actually got it finished. Tony met a woman, and then that was it. So my dad was left with this shell of a car and half finished for years, 7 years, I think it was, in our garage, because now Tony had found a woman. That whole thing, rally cars, going to car shows, like where I'm from in North Yorkshire, car rallies are like quite popular. They used to be, like the national ones used to be up here. So as a kid, it's just, cars are a thing. And I live in a rural area, much like probably Alta, but, so you can't you don't get anywhere if you don't have a driving license. So
true. No, for me also it was the same. My father has some interest for cars, and I remember when I was turned 18. Keep in mind, I lived in North Norway. We wanted the car that is good for winter time. So I remember my first car was a pretty new Volvo 240, 2.3 liter.
That rear drive, is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It was fun in winter time.
Yeah.
Then I remember sold that one. I bought my first Mercedes. It was a Mercedes 190E. Beautiful car, stunningly black on black. Everything was sold that one. Bought a new Volvo 940 Turbo, brand new. I was 20 years old, and that was a piece of shit. It was so bad to drive with 200 horsepower and stiff rear axle and all this. I remember I traded in 1 month later. I lost a lot of money when I was young. Bought a Mercedes 300E 24 valve. And that
those are big cars for a young man.
Yeah, it is. But it was like one Mercedes was the kind of pinnacle of what you can have. A 300E with 24 valve. It was like a Sportline with 2+2 seats. And I remember coming home with that car, and it was expensive back then. I was working my ass off to afford it, but that car fueled my interest for all this kind of. Then the BMW started to come, the 325s, the 330 after a while, bigger and bigger, the M3s, the 911s. So I went through the whole kind of circle before I'm starting to produce babies and all this. So it fueled a lot of interest into this one. And I see my son has the same one now with the Chevrolet Camaro, the V8, the big ones, and want to build it bigger and faster and sell it, and then go into, and now he wants to start another project with a 135M BMW to make it into a street car. So in some ways, it's fun to see me giving the torch on to the next generation, which I think you are also doing. But also, I think where will this end?
Yeah.
Where will this lead?
Yeah.
And he's always saying, Dad, I want to join you for the road rallies and all this. Do you want to take your own son onto this one, or that's a question? But I said yes, of course.
Yeah. You can work for me.
You just need the money.
You either work for it or you pay.
Yeah, true. No, it's healthy and it's good, Rick. So I think that by teaching the kids also this all this about engines and racing and all this, but in healthy and safe environment, and also give them clear ideas on behaving, then I think they are good. And people are your children is a product of you, and they are, if they behave, I'm okay with that, and they are kind of nurturing a healthy interest of cars and branching and all this, instead of doing all the other things they could have done.
Well, my boy he's only 10, so he's not. Well, he'll be 11 this year, but he's not allowed to go out partying on his own. At the moment. But I think it's you want to pass your passion on, but you don't want to force it. So it's got to be something that they want. I look at Lewis and Max and all these people, and I actually feel a little bit sorry for them in a way, because they've been forced down a certain route and they have to give up so much to be the world's best.
Yeah,
and especially like Josh Verstappen. Like the guy just looks so. I would just not the kind of dad you want.
No, he comes out as a mean guy. I don't know why, but he looks hard. He looks hard as nails. So he looks tough.
Yeah.
Maybe we could be a loving father and all this. It could be a really caring father, but he doesn't come out as that.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And so, but I think so then he's, his passion has kind of gone into his child, which is fine. That's natural. But you have to give up so much to be the world's best at stuff. And that, those are the conversations we're having with Alex now is, like he wants to buy like stupid things like toys or whatever. And we're saying, but you know that racing costs money. You got to put fuel in the race car
because he's racing now.
Not quite. No, this season
but
he
he
will
has
start.
a race car.
He has a race car. He will be starting this season. So that's what I'm trying to say to him is that these childish things that you want to do as a 10-year-old, you can't do them anymore.
So you are a little bit like Josh Verstappen yourself, or
it would appear so.
Oh, something happened here. Yeah. I don't know. I think that's good. Yeah, I have some. I switched off everything except Signal. So people, I guess they've been trying to call me everywhere, and Sundays his Signal works. So now somebody is strange. Yeah.
Well, we should call it a day.
Yeah.
This is probably in the right place to. I was just looking, just in case you're wondering what I was looking at. I'm looking at the clock here.
Yeah.
So it probably is a good place to stop it, AJ. Thanks again for another walk around the whole world of road rallying, F1, Dream Garage, how we bring up our children. We've covered quite a few topics.
It was a lot. I'm sorry for going off topic and all over, but it's good fun talking to you, and it's good fun to go remember some of the stuff we did and also look forward what we are doing. And I like these things, conversation man to man, and to hear about your life, tell about my life, and also about this. So I'm sorry for going all around the place.
No, that is, hopefully that's what this is about. It's about that. It's the life.
It is, and I want to be true with everybody and sincere. And I think, it's us, Rick.
Yeah.
It is. No, thank you for your time. It was marvelous again, and I had some good coffee, and I had my dog here also on the lap here beside me. So it was a good formidab.
Yeah. Formidab.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you. Bye.